Hi everyone and welcome back. Now over the next few videos I'm going to tell you some interesting facts about sleep. It is important to know this information which must be considered for any sleep plan for it to be effective. Now based on all the information I've collected, I have come up with a simple yet great sleep plan for you. As we now know, the nightly active deep sound sleep at a specific part of the evening based on the timing of the setting sun and our internal time clock, and not the finishing of a TV program, sports event or Netflix drama, involves a critical nightly sleep process. Every night that begins with the gradual setting of the sun and our body producing melatonin, also called the sleep hormone, which doesn't actually put us to sleep but signals the rest of our body that the sleep process is about to begin, and so it is time for our body to wind down for the night. Now, why do we need to sleep? Well, because there are things going on inside our body every night that require us to be completely still, no movement and no thinking, completely paralyzed and shut down at every level. And that's what we call sleep. Now, who would have guessed that? It was certainly news to me. Why are there things happening inside our body every night? Because every night our body has to repair the natural damage that results from simply being alive and kicking in this world, on this planet, floating in space. Yeah, we've got to remember that every so often. And it only happens at night. And that's how the system works. Okay, so why 7 to 8 hours sleep? Well, the 8 hours sleep idea come up from the union days of 8 hours work, 8 hours play, and 8 hours sleep in the 24-hour day. But in reality, the optimum amount of sleep required is either side of 7 hours. It turns out because depending on the individual, that's how long the sleep process takes to effectively complete all stages of the damage control. And it only happens when we are asleep. Now, I know you're starting to get it, but I'm still going to repeat myself and add new information as we go. First is the non-REM sleep stage, which means non-rapid eye movement stage. Pretty creative for sure, right? Which means our eyes are dead still, along with our entire body. No movement, paralyzed, comatose. Again, that's what we call sleep, and it has a very important purpose. That purpose happens every night as soon as we drift off to sleep at the correct time. This is the stage of damage control when our body repairs and cleans up damaged and dead cells, targets rogue genetic cell defects, the likes of cancer, and disease invasions that all naturally happen every day when we are wide awake. Now, the cleanup happens every night for our entire life throughout our whole body and includes our brain. More on that later. That's quite interesting. Our body simply cannot do this without us being in deep sleep and at the correct time in the 24-hour period. The second is the REM sleep stage, which means rapid eye movement, and it's a very light sleep stage and involves what we call dreaming. Now, many of us have watched our pet cat or dog having what appears to be a nightmare while asleep in front of the fire, whimpering with the eyeballs under the eyelids rapidly rolling around. It's the same thing. Now, it is during this rapid eye movement stage when our brain puts all the experiences of the day, traumatic, highly emotional or otherwise, and everything we have learned into tidy files so it can be used in our future decision making. And those files also keep those harmful emotional experiences in a tidy place where we can't forget them, but they can't have a negative influence on us as we go forward with our life. If the REM stage is not happening, then ongoing post-traumatic stress, anxiety, and learning issues, just to mention a few, can become a real problem. Now, for specific reasons, these stages repeat and overlap with each other 5 times during the 7 to 8 hour sleep period. So at the start of the night, the bulk of it is non-rapid eye movement or deep sleep and a bit of rapid eye movement. But by the end of the night, the bulk is rapid eye movement, light sleep, and a bit of non-rapid eye movement. And that is a good reason why we can miss much of the restorative non-rapid eye movement stages simply by having a lifestyle where we go to bed very late. And you thought when we sleep, we were just sound asleep, right? No. Regular good sleep habits are critical for good health, and consequently sleep is classed as a foundation stone for good health. And that's why our stress response will always react when we have poor sleep. And we now know many of the common signs and symptoms of stress, that previous list, which can be caused by ongoing poor sleep. Not to forget the impact poor sleep has on the other 3 foundation stones for good health, being mental and emotional balance, gut health, and nutritional status, and the food we gravitate towards. And not to forget a sensitized nervous system and a never-ending stress response activity going on inside our body. It is exactly the same for our children and just as critical, but their physical and emotional development is more at risk because their body and brain is still developing. And it is during the sleep stages that much of this development is happening. And those who say they don't need much sleep, well, it turns out that only around 1% of the population can actually thrive on less than 2 hours sleep per 24 hours. And it's all to do with their special genes. Maybe that's you, maybe it isn't. And in the next video, I'll tell you more fascinating things going on inside our body in relation to sleep. Remember, it's all good sound science, but made really simple so we can understand it, right? Yeah, and we'll keep building this picture. Good job, everyone. We'll catch you later. Bye-bye.